Welcome to Under Construction podcast, where it's all pure side talk. Yes, we like to tackle the issues that affect tradespeople both on and off site while having a bit of crack along the way. And today we are addressing the lost art of DIY and how today's generation are learning it in a different way. So we are delighted to be joined by Jamie Duff and Ryan Carrick to take us through this. This is a great episode. You're going to love it. If you've ever had aspirations for doing a little bit more DIY wise, buckle up, grab a cuppa, turn up the volume. You're going to love it. Let's get it done. Ryan, Jamie, thank you so much for joining us on Under Construction. I'm looking forward to our chat. I think DIY is being done in a different way, and I think you're leading it out, and you're a bit like myself, Ryan. We're trying to work it out.
I'm just happy to be here.
That's two of us, fella. That's two of us. So, honestly, Jamie, there's no pressure on you, but you're carrying this one.
Jesus.
Yeah. But thanks so much for joining us. We'll get into your story in a bit, but lads, just to break the ice a little bit, we have a grip challenge. I don't know how you are about this, but basically we make out in Under Construction that tradespeople always have a deadly grip. You know what I mean? You grab a carpenter or an electrician, they can...
Four arms of steel.
There you go. So, unfortunately, our list is looking quite heavy at the top. Philly McMahon...
He just got it there, didn't he?
He just got it there. And do you know what he did? He got 65, but before it, he got 50. And we were chatting about rivalries, and he was, honestly, it was his time with Keith as well.
Oh, really? He got riled up.
He got riled up and got 65 at the end of it all.
So, make me angry, Ryan.
Yeah, there you go. Do you want to give it a go, lads?
I want to beat Willa White. Yeah, if I beat him, I'll be happy.
Can I tell you, be careful, Willa White is a scaffolder.
Oh, yes.
Honestly, don't be fooled by the beautiful good looks. Jamie, go for it now. Go for it.
Oh, here, lads, no, that's diabolical. One more, you're not looking at that. You're not looking at that.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, go on.
Philly stood up in the end.
Stood up?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So whatever it takes.
Can I do two hands or what's going on?
No, one hand. Well, look, I'm not going to correct you.
Don't be making excuses now.
It's quite a...
Oh, Jesus, lads, that is difficult. 65? Are you joking? He had to have been cheating.
The man has 8 All-Irelands. You know
That's
what I mean?
insane.
What is the lunch?
I think it's a respectable.
51.5.
51.5.
Is that respectable?
Absolutely it is, yeah.
I'm scared now, right?
Be scared, right? Go on, Ryan. Give it some.
Oh no, sorry. I'm seeing Eric Lawler there as well.
There you are. Yeah. No,
I beat him.
Yeah, he had just done a massive gym session, he told me, and he was chinning that morning.
Excuses. Right. Go on, Ryan.
Go on, Ryan.
Go on.
Yes, give it to it, Kelly.
What'd you get?
48.4.
I will take it.
Good.
I did a big gym session before I got
There
here.
you go. There, take that, Eric.
Yeah, I'll practice before I'm on the next.
There we go.
Have you done this?
No, I haven't done it yet. Yeah, we'll surely give
at the end of the season or something. You have
at some point. Yeah, exactly.
He just breaks the thing. And
I wish.
It just crumbles in his hand.
Those days are gone for me, Jamie. How are we getting on, lads? Thanks so much for joining us today.
Good. Thanks so much for having us. Yeah.
I think what we're looking to probably have a conversation, because DIY is done differently now. I would have probably been that generation where I look at my father-in-law being able to do everything. They're different, aren't they? Whereas now, if I get a problem in my house, if it can't be fixed with duct tape or blue tack, I can't do it. You know that way. But Jamie, certainly for you, you're finding there's a different way nowadays. Getting online and finding out and educating yourself, isn't that intimidating?
Yeah, not at all. I mean, you can find out just about anything online, whether that be starting a business, learning a new language, or learning how to turn a horse truck and do a tiny home. But like you said, from kind of past generations, it's funny enough, my dad, he won't mind me saying this now, he is absolutely woeful when it comes, terrible.
Wow.
When it comes to anything to do with DIY or fixing things, it just wasn't for him. But my granddad, on the other hand, when I think back to my granddad, I always have images of him with a tool in his hand, fixing the tractor on the yard or fixing a machine. So I definitely got it from him. Skip the generation anyway.
Every second generation, so is what we're taking for it. You might tell us about, you've started into kind of the social media side of it, and you are, what's the handle?
Duff DIY.
Duff DIY, and just tell us a little bit about it. You are showing how you're changing camper vans, horse boxes, like looking at the stuff, man.
I
it's
suppose.
incredible.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I suppose it kind of came about. Myself and my girlfriend. Shout out Martha Constantine.
There you go.
Big shout out there.
Yeah, this goes out
She'll
next
love
week.
that.
She could easily lose you by then.
Jeez, I hope not. A week.
You're batting above your average, fella.
When she sees how you didn't get a grip, she'd be like, I'll keep
51.5, he's gone, he's out of here.
What gave you the ick, the grip strength?
mid-table. That is not good enough.
Jamie, come on, do better, man. Back, it was our last year at college, and we're on a weekend away somewhere. And on the way home, Martha was looking at TikTok and Instagram and saw this couple doing this whole van life thing. And to be honest, that was kind of the first time I'd heard of it. And she was like, Jamie, this looks unbelievable. We should do this when we get back. Like after college, once we submit our thesis, we should buy a van, convert it, and go traveling.
Wow.
And I was kind of thinking, it's one of those passing remarks.
Yeah.
That it's just like, we'll do that one day. And you never actually do it. But funny enough, we got home that day and we opened up Facebook and done deals, started scrolling, looking at vans. And we were scrolling through hundreds and hundreds of these like boring white vans. And then we came across the most obnoxious, illuminous green coloured van you'll ever see in your life. And we decided, that's the one.
That's for us.
Oh, yeah, we need to buy that one. And we bought that. And this is all within the space of like a week, I'd say. We bought the van. And once we bought it, then we bought our ferry tickets from Rosslare to Calais in France for 3 months' time.
No way. You booked the trip.
Like barely anything was done on the van. And it was our first time doing anything like this. And we were putting the time pressure on ourselves as well, you know. When we got the van in, we straight away just started looking up YouTube videos, tutorials, how-tos. Like Reddit forums are great as well, just blogs that we'd find on Google, just finding stuff out. And to be honest, that was my first experience of kind of like an introduction into different aspects of construction and DIY, as in like there was plumbing involved, there was electrics, insulation, woodwork, all that sort of thing. And I just fell in love with it, to be honest with you. And we learned so much along the way.
Can I ask, plumbing, did you put a jacks in the van?
Funny question. So the plumbing was for the kitchen, for the tap and stuff. The jacks, we had like a chemical toilet. Okay. So there was no plumbing involved in that. But even just doing the kitchen sink, you know, with our wastewater and our fresh water, that was just an introduction into to cutting pipes and to using the elbows and everything, the fittings and everything. The electrics was complicated. But again, like if you just took it step by step, and the videos gave me huge confidence, like YouTube videos and stuff. And you just take your time with it. You can get it done, you know?
Yeah, we'll break it down because there's definitely another formula to it now. And more people are doing exactly what you're doing. But Ryan, you're coming to DIY from a completely different angle, and to be fair, you're more of my spiritual wolf, aren't you?
I'm glad to hear that. I was feeling a little bit, I suppose, disappointing or something there.
But no, you're not disappointed.
Thanks, man. Thanks for saying that. I am. See, like anyone can do what he does if they have access to YouTube. I just don't have time for it. To be honest,
Wi-Fi's bad around your place.
Wi-Fi's bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, honestly, when I see what Jamie does, I can't believe it. I think it's so impressive.
Buy me dinner first, Ryan.
I just think you're great, man. I think everything. But following Jamie for like a few years, seeing how he turns a van into a home, or like the horse trucks or horse boxes into homes, is just insane, because I just can't. It doesn't really compute with me. You know?
Do you take on projects? What's your go-to? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like as you said, like I suppose DIY is done differently. I've gotten like beer mats and put them under like the legs on tables so the tables don't wobble and stuff.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Did you look that up on YouTube? Or?
No, I came up with that one myself.
Really well.
And I also hung up fairy lights in my room once. And I think I've helped bring stuff to storage and kind of that kind of is the kind of extent of my DIY contributions. Yeah. What does DIY stand for?
Do it yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
But do you look at the likes of Jamie and look at other people? I certainly do with my father-in-law. Like I am so envious when I see him, and you know what I mean, putting up a shelf, you know what I mean, sorting a problem. He loves completing the task. And that, I always look at him afterwards, the kind of pride of knowing he did that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like my granddad and stuff was a decorator and stuff, so he would have absolutely done all that sort of stuff. But like, you know, you see your granddad putting up a shelf willy nilly, no bother at all to him. But like, they don't know what to do with a HDMI cable.
That's true.
So
that's true.
And I know I can use a HDMI cable, no problem at all.
Very well. I've seen him use it.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable.
Like
at
a
it.
whiz, and like my nana does be like mad impressed when I'm able to like reconnect our TV to the.
Yeah, it's flicked it on, but
Yeah.
it's like,
But you know what?
I don't give away the secrets. or
Oh,
anything.
sorry.
Yeah.
But Ryan, you could have hit something there. Like, there's transferable skills that we could nearly help different generations with. They've all that knowledge from actually doing it and being more practical.
Yeah.
And we've all these probably skills in kind of maybe social media or, you know, getting things set up tech-wise that they could really badly do it.
100%. Like you could, if we actually talked to the older generation, if we
You
spoke
should get
to
your
them,
nanny on TikTok.
Yeah.
Class, man.
That's it, man. That's the journey for you now.
absolutely. Well, there you go.
Get your nanny on TikTok. The road to nanny on TikTok.
Ryan's nanny
Part
at
one.
Ryan's nanny. Yeah, but like you see it, like you know, it's not a blanket statement, but like they can be less kind of knowledgeable about you know, social media or technology and like, I don't know, even scams and stuff. You know what I mean? Like you see them getting. Yeah, the older generation would get scammed a lot because they would click on a link quicker than we would. We'd be
They're
a little
not
bit
aware
more
of it,
skeptical and stuff, you know. So yeah, like there's definitely stuff we could transfer between the two the generations.
I think it's a bit of them being trusting, isn't it?
Yeah,
They
exactly.
actually think, you know what I mean? They're still in that beautiful spot where if someone does get onto them, that they think, how can I help?
Yeah.
You know?
Kind of naivety there that everyone's good. It's just like, this guy from wherever wants to help me here.
Yeah. I don't remember ordering this thing, but
Yeah.
I must have done it and getting a message about it.
Is there ever a time though you have felt I'd like to be better in terms of, you know what I mean? I'd actually like
100%. Like again, Jamie makes us look bad.
That's why you're here.
So maybe you should
Make you look
maybe
better.
delete her. Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason he thought of me. Yeah, no, 100%. Like I feel like I don't know. Maybe there is still a kind of a stigma around. Is it like emasculating or something?
Yeah,
like
I know,
when you're not capable of turning a horse truck into a home.
Yeah, but I had it even, I think it's probably 3 weeks ago now. My little girl Anna came in and the toilet seat had broken. And she came in going, Mom, can we get on to, they call their grandfather Papa. Can we give Papa a shout? The toilet seat is bust. And I was there. Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
Like she was kind of looking, no. Yeah, like, not you, fella. We need this properly sorted.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. How did that make you feel?
exactly. I'm opening it up to kind of share of it. But it's a great skill to have, isn't it? Like, Jimmy, are you kind of like just proud of what you've done to this point in terms of just applying yourself and...
Yeah, I am proud of what I've done, but I don't think it's I think it's normal for a lot of people not to be able to do those sort of things as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it was more common back in the day because, like you said, they don't know how to use a HDMI cable. There's probably a lot less to know back then in terms of like technology and technology advancements, like computer skills and computer-based things that the older generation wouldn't know how to do. So they'd probably put their time into learning basic DIY skills and fixing the house or around the farm or wherever they were based. Nowadays with the new generation, it's kind of, it's normal for people not to know everything, you know? And like that, like if you wanted to put the toilet seat on the toilet, you could just look it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. And you've nailed it. And that's exactly what you've started to do.
Yeah.
So can you tell me... Like, take us through the journey a little bit. You bought the van. You knew you wanted to do it up.
Yeah.
But had you any experience? Have you like any trades? Are you
Not really, no. I talked about my granddad there earlier on. He kind of exposed me to DIY and repairs and doing it yourself from an early age. And kind of being around the farm, I was just comfortable with the idea of fixing things.
Okay.
And then I suppose going into secondary school, shock horror, I picked woodwork as a subject.
Okay.
And I fell in love with woodwork. And it was the first time I got the feeling of like when I had a project made, whether it be like a keyring holder or a model airplane, I brought it back, showed my friends and family, and I was proud of what I built. And I was like, I love that feeling. It was kind of like a sense of achievement and pride into, And knowing that I've built this with my bare hands, I was
Yeah.
like, it's something deadly. I love that. And funny enough, that feeling actually hasn't changed from building model airplanes in school to now converting these horse trucks into tiny home. I get the same feeling looking back at anything I make now.
Yeah,
you know?
I would say every tradesperson must get that buzz.
100%. They have to, yeah, 100%.
Like if you,
Yeah.
you know, whatever your trade, if you nearly provide
Yeah.
shelter or a
Yeah.
home for someone to
Yeah,
have
exactly.
a great life in, there
Yeah.
must be unbelievable fulfillment. To that.
Exactly, yeah. And I think part of that as well is enjoying the process along the way, you know? Like, it's great to look back at what you made, but you need to enjoy doing it as well. And I love the fails and the errors, and because I mean, at the end of the day, they're just kind of like learning points. You know what I mean?
Is that how you take them? The
Yeah,
mistake.
In the moment, I'd be absolutely raging and
Okay. Yeah.
annoyed. You know, they can be frustrating, but after it, you know, it's just these things are going to happen, especially if it's your first time doing things. Stuff's going to happen. Like, for instance, last week, I was putting plasterboard slabs up on the wall in the house. And before putting the slab up, I had to take a radiator off the wall. And I had never taken a radiator off a wall before. But I just thought, yeah, this is going to be easy. So I looked it up online. And yeah, kill happy days, turn off the 2 valves. Then you have to drain the radiator. Then you can kind of undo it and take it off the wall. So I turned off the valves. I started draining the radiator. And I had a big basin. And it was filling up with water. And I was going into the sink in the kitchen, emptying it out, coming back, filling it with water, putting it back into the kitchen. And on the video, it said that should only take about 5-10 minutes to drain the radiator, right? I was there for 45 minutes. And by that stage, I was soaked. There's about this much water on the floor of the living room. And I was like, something has to be wrong here. What's going on? So it turned out that one of the valves were actually broken. And it didn't close. So
you were just emptying buckets of water and then
it was like going to a tap and trying to empty the tap into the sink.
It's genuinely like a scene out of Tom and Jerry or something.
Literally,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
And
him
Martha
scratching
comes
his
in.
head like,
Sometime later, come in, he's 65 years of age.
This damn radiator still not emptying. And Martha comes in and I'm just soaked to the bone. She's like, Jamie, what are you doing? I was like, I actually haven't a clue what I'm doing. You know, but it's things like that. Like if I got a professional plumber to come in, he would have realized the valve was broken in 2 seconds, you know, with the pressure of water not going down, but me just not realizing that.
So
like,
can I ask, what did you do? How did you sort it?
well, at the moment, it's still not sorted.
Okay,
I just put the radiator
house,
back on.
is it?
This is in the house.
Yeah.
That radiator is still up on the wall. So I just put the valves back on. And now I need to get a new valve and fit it onto the radiator first. Then I can switch off the valve and then drain it.
Where comes the point for you that you're like, okay, I'm completely out of my depth here? You mentioned the plumber there, but that you'd kind of go
45 minutes.
After being drenched, I have hypothermia at this stage, shaking, trying to get the water.
Like, will you take everything on full-blooded, or do you kind of go, look, no, electrics or plumbing or whatever it is, I'm not going near it?
Electrics, yes. When it comes to, like, I did all the electrics in the horse truck myself, but of course I had to get it certified by a professional electrician, you know, and I had him look over all my work, and he certified it then.
Okay.
When it comes to electrics, especially household electrics and stuff, I'd leave that to a professional.
Yeah.
Did he have to make any changes to it? Or
No,
was he actually happy enough?
Funny enough, he actually offered me a job.
No way.
Yeah, it's fair my life. Yeah, he looked at a socket I did, and he goes, "Geez, you want a job?" And I go, "What?" I was like, "No, I'll stick to horse trucks."
Is that like the greatest compliment you've
it
ever
was.
get in your
It
life?
was. Yeah,
You
it
know what
was
I mean? Like,
unbelievable. Yeah, it
Like,
was.
it's the fact that you're like mixing so many different like trades there, like you like, the plumbing, the electrician,
All the
and then
different
the
aspects.
woodwork as well. Like it's nuts.
Yeah, it was a great compliment.
Yeah.
It really was. But there are certain stuff like that when it becomes kind of like a health hazard. You're not going to do it yourself, you know. When it could be, you don't want to bleed and blow up your house, you know. You don't want to
course,
set it a light.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
get the
the pros
professional
in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's been quite a few times where you would need to get professionals in.
Before you start, do you say, I know you you said you booked the ferry tickets, so
Yeah.
you put a timeline on it.
Yeah.
Do you actually put out a project plan? Or
No, well, with myself and Martha, when we were doing the first camper van, Kermit, we call it Kermit.
yeah.
Aluminum
I've seen
screen.
it. It's a good name for it.
The most obnoxiously green colour.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
I don't know why we picked it. We didn't have a plan. We kind of we knew what we had to do in a rough order, because you can't obviously install the kitchen until your insulation and your plumbing is in and your cabling's in as well. So we kind of had the basic order of what we had to do, but we didn't really have like a timeline, a plan. Nowadays, when I built the second truck there, I had a rough schedule of what I wanted to get done in a certain amount of time. And yeah, I was kind of tying that in with making videos and content and stuff as well, which is difficult to do on top of building. But yeah, like back then with the van, it was less structured. Now I'm trying to be more structured with building things.
Ryan, we see so much of you online and it's all going so well, but there's big movements that come in place as well. And van life is a thing now, isn't it? You know, people thinking, I want that accessibility of being able to jump in the van and go.
Yeah, see, it was a big thing during COVID, wasn't it? Like when people weren't able to go abroad. I assume that's why.
That's where, that's where I got the idea.
And at the time, like I wasn't driving, so like it wouldn't have made sense for me to convert. I don't know what to do with it now.
Sit in the driveway.
Like blocks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you definitely like it's something I'd love to do. I was only reading there today. A lot of people also turned trucks into like coffee vans and stuff back then as well.
The horse trailers.
Into the horse trailers. Yeah. And I read today that like they're all up for sale now, which is a huge recession signal, apparently.
Oh, wow. Really?
So you to jump in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they're all going for cheap on done deals. So maybe it's my time. I don't even have to do it up myself. I could just grab one.
Buy one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because a friend of mine tells the story. His kid was with him, and they saw the guards pass with a horse box and a guard on the side of it. And the kid went, "The guards are selling coffee."
That's brilliant. What is that horse doing in the coffee shop? Get that horse out of the coffee trailer.
Associate them with.
That's gas. Yeah.
For you, how conscious of the trends are you, or the way it's going? You know what I mean? When you see stuff like that or movements like that, do you kind of think, okay, people are interested in this now from Jamie's point of view to do it, but for you, there's an opportunity to nearly poke fun and have a laugh off it.
100%. Yeah. Because it was such a huge craze, I probably missed the boat slightly now. I feel like it's
but there's probably something else.
We'll think of something like. But yeah, definitely. Like I feel like there is kind of. I definitely follow a few pages now. That are kind of like DIY focused and like converting random things into homes and stuff. So there's definitely ample amounts of like content and material there for you to poke fun. But I also think what you do, Jamie, is great. Okay, bottom line. Okay,
thanks. I appreciate that.
It's funny, but I wouldn't wind you up or anything and take the piss out of you.
Jamie, we've seen you do it with the vans, but you've also done it at home in the house. One, is it very different, or you know what I mean? Knowing that, like for some reason, just in my head, I put a van down as it's a bit of fun.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Whereas for your house, you nearly feel there's a pressure to get it right.
Yeah, you are right. Especially, I mean, first of all, it's just the size of the house compared to the van.
Yeah,
it's just more of a task, you know. But having the experience, I suppose, is like anything. It's a confidence thing, you know. Like doing smaller projects has led me to like projects in school, like my model airplanes and stuff, and doing that in school has led me to be able to do the van, and then doing the van, the horse trucks, and the horse trucks, the house. It's kind of just building up confidence and like a skill base. Obviously with the house, there's different skills required, like plasterboarding and plastering and stuff, which, by the way, plasterers are geniuses because it's the one job I can't do. I spent about 2 hours trying to plaster this wall, and I was just covered in plaster and shite, and there was stuff all over the house. That's really difficult. So plasterers, they're artists. Honestly, I don't know how they do it. That's one thing I can't do.
My 3 brothers are plasterers, and I'm making sure this place gets deleted because they will absolutely love hearing you say it. Because they would feel
honestly,
that way.
they are though. Like honestly, it's such a skill that
it's an incredible trait.
That you just can't. Some things are like that. You go online and you try to just do whatever the video says to do, but you just can't. Like being a plasterer is one of those things where it takes years of practice and skill, and probably someone to teach you there in person. You can't just look at a video. And to be honest, the videos, they make everything look easy.
Of course.
You know, like it's hours of work condensed into a few minutes.
Yeah.
It is obviously better to be taught by an actual professional or like a mentor or your boss or whatever on the site, you know, rather than just looking at a video and doing it.
It's nearly a bit of an art form to actually see.
Oh, it is completely,
the work that goes into it, and just getting it to that point of looking right.
Yeah, and like especially when they're doing the roof as well.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of strength as well. And like your arms are going to be like this for hours, you know,
yeah.
around, arms of steel, you know what I mean? I can't do it. That's why I got 51.5 on the
Yeah,
thing, you know what I mean?
I think they lift a giggle out of it because people are there, geez, you're actually handy enough at line-out lifting. I was there when you're holding plasterboards above your head every
there
summer.
you go, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This is quite easy.
Yeah, it's just the same muscle movement. It's just plasterboard. Rugby player.
was the house that was your first experience with plastering? You obviously didn't have to do that with
that was my first experience with plastering.
Did you think of doing a trade? Like when you got offered the job, did any
Funny enough, I'd say this to Martha and my friends and everything. If I didn't so I studied multimedia in college. Okay. I only picked it because it was so broad. The course was so broad. They had loads of different modules within it, like photography, coding, graphic design, that sort of thing. And I didn't know what I wanted to do after secondary school. So that's why I picked it, because I knew I'd like at least one module in multimedia. But if I didn't do multimedia, I would have done an electrician apprenticeship and I would have gone in to do that. Because again, it's just being creative, I suppose, as well. There's a creative aspect to it, and being hands-on is something that I would have liked to done. So definitely.
Ryan, did you do woodwork or any of those in school?
I did art, actually.
Okay,
so that's
very
why
good.
I know I'm a Dublin-based creative. So maybe plastering is something I could do.
There you go.
It could come naturally to you. Maybe,
Probably would.
Like the Mona Lisa on your wall. Sitting
exactly.
Ryan's superpowers plastering.
Who knew? Yeah, so I did art, and I suppose that was kind of my my passion, I suppose, in school was like you said that you'd make model airplanes, I'd make cute little drawings, and I'd be delighted with it, you know.
Yeah, of course.
And so I suppose that's where my kind of artistic, creative side comes from.
If you take woodwork aside, right, do you think in a bracket of like home economics, is there something in a DIY module for schoolgoers? You know what I mean? Just the basic needs to, you know what I mean? This is how you use drill, this is how you use... bring it back to the fundamentals of...
Absolutely. I feel like why isn't there something like that? You know, you hear people like, why aren't you taught how to do taxes in school, and why aren't you taught how to use a drill, or do DIY in school? You know,
did you feel there was a push away from those kind of subjects that would lead to trades? You know what I mean? That would push you down that road, as opposed to looking at
like
because
as we were coming
woke.
into.
No, we're on it. No, we have.
That's why I can't put up a shelf, because of woke. All right, it's not my fault.
It's all going so woke. I can't hang this basket.
I think coming up to like senior cycle in school, they kind of push your kind of CAO points and getting into a college course more so than, well, I found in my personal experience anyway in school, rather than going into a trade, you know. I think they should, like you said, there should be a subject where they teach.
What would help there? Is it a course, or is it actually people coming in giving practical advice? You know what I mean? If you, like speaking of it there, if you had plasterers coming in, if you different, like, because we do it, you know what I mean? There's always someone coming in chatting to you about taking on science. Or looking at engineering. You know?
How would one know that they would like plastering without like, I don't know, knowing someone who's a plasterer and then be like, oh, maybe, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I personally don't know any plasterers as far as I know.
So you do now, 3 of them?
Yeah, well, I know 3.
I'll give them a shout. Anything you need.
And they do great work.
They don't. Sorry. They do in other people's houses, but I'll give you a laugh. We used to talk about our house in our park. Everyone knew it because it's the only house that isn't plastered. The side wall, there was an extension put on, and the side wall is
just never got around to doing it.
It's just scratched and left. And they were like, I'll do it at the weekend.
Because they were selfless. They were selfless about that, and I appreciate that. So like I don't know how, like, if you didn't know any plasterers, if 3 of your brothers weren't plasterers, how you would know like if that's something you wanted to do, or even like, you know, being an electrician. I know these are all very, you know, popular enough trades and careers and stuff, but like, I wouldn't have had a clue if it was something for me, because it was never kind of introduced to me in school, you know.
But even, Jamie, for someone to kind of catch it, because you have the bug, you know what I mean? And maybe it's a teacher there kind of going, you're good at this, man. You know, you're like, I'm pushing you down that road, as opposed to they were probably, when you were saying, was it digital marketing or what was it?
Multimedia.
Multimedia. They were probably, absolutely. you know?
Yeah.
Is there a stigma around trades then? You know what I mean?
I was thinking about this, and I think there was more of a stigma even just a few years ago, like 5-10 years ago. I think now it's become more normalized. I honestly think, one, because of the technology advancements, especially with AI taking over certain jobs, like everything I studied in college in multimedia, like coding, graphic design, AI is kind of taking over that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can just about automate anything to do with that creative side of things. And it actually makes the trades jobs even more valuable because AI can't do those jobs, you know? AI can't plaster your wall for you.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not now, maybe in 5 or 10 years, who knows? Robots are plastering walls. But I think they are seen, they're more valued nowadays than a few years ago.
Ryan, do you find that just around your friend? Like, how many of your buddies would have trades or would have even taught along that way? Was there a kind of stigma around it to study something else or to do something
there
else?
probably was. Like, I remember leaving school and there kind of was a, you know, the
And that's
typical
40
route.
years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, this going back.
Easy now, you. There's a hurley there quite close, so he could go for you.
You might have a strong grip, but I've probably been stronger punch.
And I won't stop.
Yeah, I remember. Like, I think there kind of was a stigma. Like, when you're leaving school, the typical route would be to go to college. You know, third level education. You know, in a university or technological university or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's actually a very good option now as well.
Yeah.
And as well as that, it's a great money maker as well.
Yeah,
Great
it's
money
very
earner. Like,
high paying.
if you're a qualified electrician or plumber or whatever tradesman, you're probably on a higher wage than someone who has just come out of college and has gotten a job straight out of college. They'd be on like the base wage, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Base salary. So yeah, I think it's a great option, and I think we're going towards that. Being more open about it and being more accepting of people wanting to go into trades and stuff.
Because I know you said there, like, that you know, maybe in a few years there might be robots plastering walls and stuff. Like, but I do think that, like, trades, these sort of trades are things that can't be replaced by robots and AI. Like, it's more the multimedia sort of things that we'd be involved in. That is more likely, you know, like in journalism and stuff like that. You can see AI having quite a, you know, sinister effect and. But I think it's trades that'll stand the test of time, you know.
Yeah, and they always have.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know, they really have. Just when you look at it, though, we look at the different platforms, and social media is big, but YouTube, when it comes to that being used as nearly a tool or an aid to help, is that kind of where you get your apprenticeship for being a DIYer? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. But being so reliant on Google and YouTube for things. Not just me, I think a lot of people feel this as well. When you look up a piece of information online, it'll go into your brain, but then it could leave the very next day, you know? Because I think in the back of my head anyway, that I think, oh, well, if I need to know this again, I can just go back up on the phone and look it up. So I think YouTube is great, but I still do think it would be better if you had someone teach it. You know, in person.
People,
you know what I mean?
People learn in different ways.
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
So, like, you can probably listen to it, or I need to see it, but Ryan there needs to do it. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you see that as something you'd like to do?
As in kind of create tutorials and stuff.
You put yourself in a great position that could be nearly like a business model for you to show people.
Yeah,
from
you're
your
right.
experience.
Yeah, I'd love to do that, especially if I could help people, you know, learn and learn from my mistakes as well.
Yeah.
Like, don't get yourself soaked in your sitting room floor covered in water from the radiator. I would love to do that, in the future. Set up a channel or maybe do some workshops and stuff as well down the line. I think it'd be a great idea.
I'd tune in.
Yeah.
Actually, would you come to the workshops?
I didn't say that.
You just tune in,
online,
you just watch?
Online.
Ryan, do you see an avenue in DIY for more kind of fun with it? More like, instead of it just being, you know what I mean, looking at brilliant people doing it, but if someone can put it across in a really fun way and have the crack with it too, better way for most of us to learn.
Absolutely, and it seems like I know you're kind of taking on this project with Martha as well. So it's like it's something you're doing together. So it's like it's such a lovely, wholesome thing.
Yeah, sickening to be fair.
so
I
when
just
you're-
bring my missus to the cinema.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely like it like even watching the videos, it looks so lovely. Maybe I just need to get off my arse and try to.
Would you think of something? Would you think of a project? I know a teammate of mine for Lent, he took on gardening. He just said to himself, he was there, I'm not going to give up anything. But he was there, I'm going to do 20 minutes of gardening once a week.
Really?
Yeah. He
that's
just did a little bit every now and again. And now he actually finds it a little bit of therapy.
Well, that could be something now, because there's gardening in the family. Like my granddad was mad for gardening, and he's a lovely big garden. So that could be something now, and especially the next few months as well. Like it's probably the best time to get involved.
There
in
you
it.
go, to get out in it.
But yeah, I do probably to. I'm thinking years in the future when I settle down in my own house with my family, and I'll need to be able to do something. Do you know what I mean? When they look to me for some sort of guidance or help, I won't. Like,
Just give me a call.
I know a guy.
There you go. Yeah. That's me. That's when they turn to me, the toilet seat's falling off. Papa.
That's what my kids are going to call Jamie. Papa. Give me uppies. Yeah. So at least if I don't end up learning my DIY, I have a good contact to call.
Yeah.
Papa Jamie.
Papa Jamie. Yeah.
Ryan, just on the YouTube overload, the rabbit holes, you know what I mean? The ones, like, because you know it as well, from content creating and just even social media, like, you go down that rabbit hole and your night could be gone. You know what I mean? How do you make it that you're relevant? How do you make it that you land with someone when you jump up on their...
Tell us your secrets, Ryan.
Yeah, you give us your secrets. Yeah,
Still trying to figure that out. Don't I?
but it's difficult.
It is, and it's something that's changing all the time. Like it's not like only like I work in social media now, and only in the last year have I kind of gotten a grasp on what resonates with people or what makes people like engage with content and stuff. But again, a lot of it is down to look and like the time you post and there's so many different variables and stuff. You know, and moving parts. It's still something I'm figuring out, and it's like still a landscape that's like changing. Like with the introduction of AI and stuff, like that is another monster.
We'd have a lot of tradespeople listening, and everyone wants to have a better presence online.
Yeah.
Is there probably something
consistency? Consistency is key. Finding out like who your relevant audience is. Even looking up tutorials on YouTube on how to make eye-catching content, and using very simple tricks. Like a lot of people think that making things look polished and high production value is the way to go, when typically people respond better to stuff that's filmed on a phone. And I think that's something that's only changed recently. Like we would film a lot of like pretty much exclusively on a phone, and that's what and when we film on an actual HD camera or whatever, 4K camera, that doesn't do well. Like, and people almost like scroll by that. So like that's just one example of like, I don't know, a misconception there. When
of course.
some things don't have to look perfect.
Yeah.
And like your content is all filmed on a phone.
Yeah.
You edit on CapCut, which is a brilliant app that you can use on your phone, and that's a huge part of your success online is because your videos look the way you do. I know you use drones, which obviously elevates your content.
Pun intended.
Pun intended. But yeah, it's stuff like that really helps content. So
you mentioned CapCut. Is there other platform? Is there other little tools? Like if you consider in your game, you have the toolbox, but on your phone, what are some of the apps that you would say are vital if you want to make kind of good content? Like I know you're pulling it back to your phones enough, but if it is, what makes it easier? What makes it?
Yeah, honestly, CapCut is such a powerful piece of software. I would edit my videos on my laptop. I'd use the Adobe suite, which is great. But like, you can pretty much do all of that on your phone. It's just that's the way I learned in college and stuff. So I just kind of do it that way. And then sometimes the odd time I'd film or shoot and then edit on my phone. There's plenty out there, But that sort of stuff is invaluable. Yeah, and it's all free. Like a lot of these apps are just free.
Yeah. Just on that side of it, for you, when it comes to taking on these projects, when you see something, when you buy the van, Do you get daunted at all of where do I start? You know what I mean? When you take on a project, have you got a little checklist before you even kick off or do you just jump in and work it out?
Yes and no. I suppose that is the most time consuming thing is thinking about what you have to do and kind of planning ahead, because it can be very daunting. Like that, buying the truck and you're standing in this empty truck and you're like, Jesus, how do I actually make this work, you know?
I just keep chickens in it.
Yeah. Or I actually
we
might
now have
put
a
horses
mobile
in it.
chicken run.
I should do that, actually. A great idea, Donncha. Let's get into business here.
Yeah, there you go. Why don't we put a horse back in it? I actually like
crazy
that.
idea. Put a horse back into the horse
coffee
truck.
shop.
I can hang up the fairy lights as well.
There you go, exactly.
We're away.
Put the beer mats under the tire so
just
it's
in
level.
case. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is. It's funny. This is getting real cringy now. Or whatever.
No.
But we have a book in our house, and it's called the Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse.
Love it.
And in that book, there's a scene where the boy and the horse are stood outside a densely packed forest.
Yeah.
And the boy asks the horse, "I can't see a way through." And the horse goes, "Well, can you see your first step?" The boy said, "Yeah." "Well, then just take that."
Yeah.
And the boy took that first step. And then all of a sudden he could see the step after that and the step after that until eventually he got through the forest. So that's a great quote to have, not just for turning a horse truck into a tiny home, but like if you're facing any big task or project or speech or whatever it may be, if you just take the first step, things will start to fall into place after that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I kind of refer back to that quote quite often when I am faced at the beginning of a project where it might seem a bit daunting. Just take the first step and then you'll figure out the next step and you will get through it. You just take it step by step.
We used to have a call in rugby for exactly that kind of
Really?
a moment where it can all seem daunting and it's all falling apart.
Yeah.
And the call was get north, just go forward.
north.
You know what I mean? And you'd hear your teammates shouting at
Yeah.
north. So like the same was like just win the next moment
Yes.
forward.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
Same concept as well.
Same
You
concept,
know, just keep going, keep trucking along, and you'll get through it. You know
My
what I mean?
personal favourite quote from the book is have more cake.
Have more cake. Yeah, it's a
when-
great book. It's brilliant.
It's an incredible book. It
Brilliant,
really
yeah.
is. Yeah. We need to get you up to speed on it. It's
We'll buy you the
nighttime
book.
reading. Bar
I'll probably just read the blurb.
Yeah, I know. It's quite quick. You get through it in no time. But Jamie, what's the next project? Are you working on something?
Funny enough, actually, I'm doing a van at the moment, into a camper van. But before buying that van, I was looking for an ambulance to convert into a camper van. And I just thought that idea would be cool. Just like the shape of it, the uniqueness of it. That was something I wanted to, but I just couldn't get my hands on an ambulance. There was like none for sale. I was ringing the HSE and stuff, trying to find an ambulance, like an old ambulance to use.
Are you serious about it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I just couldn't find one. So I went for the van. But down the line, ideally, like the house myself and Martha are staying in at the moment, that's not our forever home. And in a few years' time, whenever it may be, I would love to build like a small house or a cottage and do a lot of the work myself. Like even brickwork and stuff, you know, obviously not the foundations.
Of course.
But like do a lot of the work myself. I'd just love that. That'd be a dream of mine. And yeah, who knows, maybe doing a few workshops and stuff as well.
Yeah.
I'd love to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone that has that bit of a drive like you to start out in a project or look for a task? You know,
Yeah, I suppose it's just going for it. Like it's so easy to just procrastinate and think about doing it and putting it off for so long. But like I said with that cringy quote earlier, just take the first step. You know what I mean? Like if you just take the first step, you will get it done. And it's just a case of just getting up off your arse and doing it, I suppose, you know?
And Ryan, for you, people with social media, like same, like you're being able to handle both of it, but like there is tradespeople that do incredible things. Like you mentioned, there is great tools to help you, but what are the kind of advice you'd give to someone that would like to grow their presence on social media and get better at it?
Yeah, like I suppose I do DIY in a very kind of abstract way, in that like I make comedy at home, or at least started by making kind of videos at home. So like I remember doing that, and that was kind of a big leap. You know, I considered myself somewhat funny, I suppose, but I didn't think I'd ever end up doing comedy kind of professionally or whatever. But I remember that was still a big leap to just kind of post that and put my work out there in the same way a tradesperson would put their work out there online, and that can be you can be met with any sort of feedback. People like to tell me if I'm not funny. People might tell you if you're
funny, man, don't worry.
thanks, man. If your plastering's crap, so so like I would just say again to repeat Jamie's awfully cringy quote.
No, I'm a fan
So
of
cringy.
the mold.
Oh, it's a great,
You need to read the book.
quote. I'm completely joking. I'll get on. Take the next step. Yeah, just go for it. It's easier said than done. But
It is, yeah.
who
You
cares?
have the resources out there.
Yeah,
and,
like you've access to this.
yeah.
Like you've easy access to a huge potential audience. Just go for it. Yeah.
The thing is, lads, DIY hasn't died. It's just been done differently, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I think as well. Like from previous generations, it's just kind of the new age of DIY.
Yeah.
A new way of learning, like from online videos and stuff. Yeah, like you said, I certainly don't think it's dead. I think it's just a different way of going about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy, give us a red flag though. If you're at something, what is you know what I mean? If you're at
A red
DIY
flag.
and you see this happening, stop. Blood.
If you see blood, probably stop. Unless you look up on YouTube how to fix a cut or something. If you're working on electrics and you see like a little arc in between two cables, stop.
Yeah.
If you injure yourself or you feel your safety's in danger, then get professional in. It's good to learn how to do things yourself, but there is always a time to get a professional in and to do things at certain points in situations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, lads, just wanted to say thank you so much. Honestly, really enjoyed the conversation, and you kind of take away a bit from it. Jimmy, to be fair, I do think you should start taking on those tutorials, man, because you've a great way of putting things across. And Ryan, we wish you every success. The stuff online, honestly, we know that's not easy, man.
Actually, Ryan is one of the funniest people I know. I'm not just saying that, but like he comes across as hilarious on videos, but in person, just being his mate, he is actually hilarious all the time. And
There you go.
Because like a lot of people you see online, you're like, are they actually funny in real life? Ryan is just hilarious 100% of the time.
Ryan, it's not easy, man. It's not easy. Like that's it's
not easy being Ryan.
No. To put it out at that consistent level and be that, you know what I mean, day in day out at that level when we all know there's other stuff going on too.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for those kind words. That's the first nice thing he's ever said to me. But yeah, no, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just I've had ups and downs in terms of me putting out content online, but it's something I love doing, and it's something I'm passionate about, and I hopefully I can keep doing it.
Well, that's the saying, lads. If you love what you're at, you'll never work a day in your life, and the two of you certainly love what you're doing. Thanks so much for joining us on Under Construction, and we
Thank you
wish
very much for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, every success. Keep it going.
Cheers.
Appreciate it, bud. Thank
Thanks,
you so
Donncha.
much.
That's it for this episode of Under Construction with thanks to Chadwicks. A massive thank you to you for listening. Also to our fantastic guests. If you'd like to subscribe or follow, we'd really appreciate it. Or you can hit the like button. See you next time.